Hello there. Let's talk about something important today, affecting our daily lives in ways we might not always consider. Sometimes danger hides in plain sight, within our everyday habits and choices. There's something many of us eat almost every single day, something seemingly harmless, that research suggests might quietly increase the risk for a very serious health issue: pancreatic cancer. Now, before your mind races, is it sugar, salt, coffee? Let's pause. It's something common on dinner plates worldwide. Any guesses? Think about the centerpiece of a meal. All right, studies point towards meats. Specifically, certain types consumed regularly. When I say meat here, based on current research, we're focusing on red meat, like beef, pork, lamb, and especially processed meats like sausages, bacon, ham, deli slices, hot dogs. We'll group these under meat for simplicity, keeping the distinction. Poultry and fish generally don't show the same level of concern in these studies. So, how do these meats affect us regularly? Let's understand this by looking at the key organ involved, the pancreas. Most of us don't think much about our pancreas, this hidden but essential organ. Tucked behind the stomach, it's relatively small, but a powerhouse. A truly unsung hero in our bodies, working constantly behind the scenes, day in and day out, to keep us running. It performs two absolutely crucial jobs for our daily function. First, producing digestive enzymes that break down fats, proteins, and carbs so we absorb nutrients. Proper digestion truly relies heavily on its efficient work. Its second vital role involves hormones, particularly insulin. Insulin is the key letting glucose, sugar, into cells for energy, regulating blood sugar. Problems here can lead to diabetes. Keeping the pancreas happy is vital for energy and metabolic health. Okay, back to the meat connection. Why are red and processed meats flagged for pancreatic health? Research offers compelling clues. Let's start with processed meats. These often get the spotlight, and the evidence here is quite consistent across studies. One large analysis found eating just 50 grams daily, roughly one sausage or a couple slices of bacon, was linked to a 19% increased risk of pancreatic cancer. And that's from a relatively small amount consumed each day, which can easily add up over time. Why? Processing often involves nitrites, which can contribute to forming N-nitroso compounds inside us. These are identified as potentially damaging and linked to pancreatic cancer in animal studies. So, the processing itself seems key. Now, what about red meat, like beef, pork, lamb? The picture is more nuanced but warrants attention. Some large studies linked heavy consumption to about a 50% increased risk versus low intake. Interestingly, some research suggests a stronger link in men than in women, possibly due to consumption levels or biology, but it's an observed pattern. Here's another important angle. It might not just be the red meat itself or its fat content. How we cook it could matter significantly. Cooking meats, especially red meat, at very high temperatures, think grilling or heavy charring, actually creates potentially harmful substances right in the food, known as HCAs and PAHs. These unwanted chemical changes happen right on the surface during intense heat, potentially contributing to the risk. Also noteworthy, studies found fat specifically from meat linked to increased risk, while fat from dairy or plants didn't show. the same strong link in analyses. This points towards something specific about the meat or its preparation. Okay, this might sound concerning, but the goal is awareness, not panic. Knowledge empowers us to make informed choices for our long-term health. Remember, pancreatic cancer, while serious, is relatively uncommon. These studies show increased relative risk, but the starting risk is low for most individuals. However, why not tilt the odds in your favor? So, what practical steps can we consider? Simple, mindful adjustments can help. 1. Be smart about processed meats. This is the clearest concern. Reduce how often you eat sausages, bacon, ham, hot dogs, deli meats. Swap for unprocessed options sometimes. Even cutting back helps. 2. Moderate red meat. Consider smaller portions or less frequent meals. Think meat as a side, not the star. 3. Cook wisely. Use lower temperatures or less direct high heat. Avoid heavy charring. Marinating might help reduce harmful compounds forming during cooking. 4. Load up on plants. Always good advice. Fill your plate with vegetables, fruits, whole grains, beans, lentils. They're beneficial, provide protective nutrients, fiber, and antioxidants, and don't carry these associated risks. They actively nourish your body. Think of it as lightening the load on your system. Reducing problematic substances and increasing protective foods gives your body a better environment to thrive in. Bonus: these changes often benefit heart health and reduce risks for other conditions too, like bowel cancer, offering wide-ranging positive effects. It's about taking proactive steps for overall wellness. Find a sustainable balance that works for you. Every small positive choice adds up. These are empowering steps you can take toward better health. It's about mindful choices for long-term health, investing in your future vitality. It's about empowerment through knowledge. So, to wrap up, we've explored the surprising link between regular processed red meat consumption and pancreas health, looking at processing and cooking methods as potential factors. Most importantly, we discussed simple ways to be mindful, reducing risks while still enjoying our food. Conscious eating is a key part of self-care. Making informed daily food decisions is a powerful way to look after ourselves and take charge of our health journey. Remember, what you put on your plate is a direct investment in your health. Take good care, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.